Hello, everyone.
Hello there.
Last week we spoke about getting older and the challenges and the adventure of that phase of life. And then we got a response, a question, um, where the question was posed: how do you become a wise elder? Because there is wisdom in age. There can be.
It can be. You can just
Be an old person,
get
or you can be a wise person.
yeah. And that doesn't mean young people can't be wise, but
Yes,
when we are talking about growing older,
yes,
so in terms of that, so we spoke about inner things, what you eat, your activity levels, your attitude, your outlook, and that's all very much to do with the, I would say, the nitty gritty, but how do you grow old while still uh, adding
mm,
to life,
mm, mm,
meaningful? Yeah. So that's a very interesting question, and of course, a very important one.
mm. And a lot has been said about becoming a wise elder. Um, and that is something that we, as people living in the West, the Western culture, where we can take a page from ancient traditions, where they really honor wise older people in their
There's a lot of
community.
respect.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And nowadays, with young people earning huge salaries at a very young age and standing in very responsible positions, I think it is a little bit of a challenge, because what is there, often there is such a generational gap because of advancements in technology and so on. What can be learned from an old person?
Yes, exactly. But we are talking about how to become a
Yes.
wild older person.
Yeah. A wild one as well.
Yeah, wildish in the sense of really tapping into
Mm.
your bodily wisdom, your um your primal knowing and all of that. So that's another maybe discussion, conversation. But I think, like you said in the Afrikaans version, to become a wise older person, you need to start early.
Yeah.
You need to gather your firewood.
If you want to sit at a fire in your old age, you have to start to gather wood early.
Or to recognize the wood in your life that you can gather.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it doesn't mean that you are now, it's too late and you haven't gathered firewood. The wood is there.
Yes.
It's for us to discover.
And often, as you say, often that wood is disguised. It's not necessarily something that we would choose or prefer or whatever, but it is there, and it is a huge log that can serve the fire of old age.
Yes, exactly.
So the first thing may be to help us identifying the wood is to have spiritual practices.
Because it sensitizes us
Yes.
for the present moment, for God's whispering, for the more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and that can entail meditation, mindful living, attending to silence, bringing that into your life, quieter moments. In other words, those are all practices that quiet the voice of the ego and make us sensitive to the deeper layers of things, not merely the outer layers, appearance or whatever, but being sensitive to deeper dimensions of life as well. And there are a few things that that can be so helpful than these spiritual practices.
Yeah, that is,
Yeah.
yeah. I think a very important shift that happens, or that if that happens in your life, it moves you into wise elderhood. And the one is that you move from the first half of life, the half that is mostly ego driven, in the sense that you are building a life, you are becoming an adult, you get a career, you start a family, you get a house. It's all very much is a
Identity building.
identity building and important. And you are creating or building a container for your life. And
And it's necessary,
it's
as you
necessary,
say. Yeah.
yes. But if you get stuck in building the container until your old age, then you lose something of the time, the era, the phase of filling the container with
Yes.
content.
Yes.
And I think that's an important shift, is moving from building the container to start asking the questions that can help you start filling the container.
Yes.
Is there more to life? Is this all it's about? When is enough enough? And that is a very important phase, almost like an initiation into the second half of your life.
And often it happens almost naturally,
Yes, we see that.
Yeah,
We see
people
that.
come on retreats and so on, and
Yeah.
often they struggle
And
with
often
those.
in midlife, where the questions start coming up about the what their lives are about. And I think it's a very important shift, or an important phase.
Yes. And material for the firewood, a very, very important material in that sense is suffering or liminal space.
Yes, I think we often we prefer not to have that in our lives. But it is huge in terms of the wisdom and the experience that can afford us, if we allow it to transform us and not to break us.
Yes.
Because that is the fodder, that is, like you say, the firewood that in old age is how you can add meaning to other people's lives because of what you have been through. So nothing of that is just bad or should be forgotten, or it is the material that you need to become a wise elder.
Because something that is really challenging when you are building the container, in other words, in early adulthood, in your 30s, in your 40s, one of the things that you want to avoid at all cost is failure.
Yeah.
And often failure is this deep initiation period. It can be. And if you have a wise elder who can also relate to that and talk to you about that out of their experiences of failure and what they've taken out of it, what they've learned from it, and so on, that can help young people immensely.
Yeah, and I think if we can have advice for younger people, then it would be to be prepared to listen to older people.
I think so.
I think to find a mentor, somebody that has been through life, because I think it's often difficult when you're younger, and we often just write off older people. But there is such a treasure of knowledge and experience that we can actually learn from, and that can, in our turn, prepare us for that phase of our life.
Exactly. And that mentor, it can be a relative, a grandparent, to listen to them, but it can also be a spiritual director, a pastor, but somebody that you can relate to and that can guide you through those difficult periods into this phase of wisdom.
And I think it has a lot to do with, like, when you become older, you realize your vulnerability.
Mm.
And it has to do with letting go of the control, which very much defines the first half of life.
Mm.
And I think that is also and suffering and hardship often also helps us to realize
Mm.
that we are not really in control, that vulnerability is not weakness.
Mm.
So all of that is lessons that we are learning if we allow it to teach us.
We came across this beautiful phrase, to become a hollow bone.
Yes, and more to not be the one who does the teaching, or the but to be that channel, that hollow
Mm.
bone where the wisdom can just flow through.
And the intimacy of God and the love of
Yeah,
God can flow through us,
yeah,
um, and can be conveyed, and it becomes and it comes through our own vulnerability
yes,
as
exactly.
elders.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, so we thought of touching on a few points this week and then round it off next week. So it will be nice
Yeah, stay
to,
tuned.
yeah, to talk to you. Maybe we become wiser in this week
Yeah.
and can add more. Uh, but we love talking to you. Thank you for the feedback, and keep warm and stay well on that side.
Keep well, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.